always from the heart of the city, and now on demand 24/7 on the CHFI website. This is the soundtrack to another look at perfection. And I'm Don Jackson, around the world on the internet. G.K. Chesterton wrote, "Lying in bed would be an altogether perfect and supreme experience if only one had a colored pencil long enough to draw on the ceiling." In search of perfection once again this hour with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Bryan Adams, Why Do You Have to Be So Hard to Love? And Sade, and Your Love is King. And I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. This is called The Perfect Girl. Its author unknown. A friend asked a gentleman, how is it that he never married? Replied the gentleman, well, I guess I just never met the right woman. I guess I've been looking for the perfect girl. Come on now, said the friend. Surely you have met at least one girl that you wanted to marry. Yes, there was one girl once. I guess she was the one perfect girl, the only perfect girl I really ever met. She was just the right everything. I really mean that she was the perfect girl for me. Well, why didn't you marry her? Asked the friend. She was looking for the perfect man, he said. In search of perfection this hour with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Tuesday, April 13th, 2010. RyanDan. Is Love Enough? Eric Clapton with Layla and the Temptations and My Girl. And I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. This was sent to me via email some years back. An unknown writer said, "We spend too much time looking for the right person to love, or finding fault with those we already love, when instead we should be perfecting the love we give. When you truly care for someone, you don't look for faults. You don't look for answers. You don't look for mistakes. Instead, you fight the mistakes. You accept the faults, and you overlook the excuses." Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Linda Ronstadt, Ooh Baby Baby. Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You, and Billy Ocean, and There'll Be Sad Songs. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Sad songs. What about a perfect song? This is one of the sonnets from the Portuguese by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, written for her husband, the poet Robert Browning. When our two souls stand up erect and strong, face to face, silent, drawing nigh and nigher, until the lengthening wings break into fire, at either curved point. What bitter wrong can the earth do to us, that we should not long be here contented? Think, in mounting higher, the angels would press us on and aspire to drop some golden orb of perfect song into our deep, dear silence. Let us stay rather on earth, beloved, where the unfit, contrarious moods of men recoil away, and isolate pure spirits, and permit a place to stand and love in for a day, with darkness and the death hour rounding it. Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. John Lennon and Woman and Rod Stewart, Soul on Soul. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. For a moment, I want you to imagine that I have in my hand a beautiful rose. It's an incredible shade of salmon. It's extremely fragrant, even though it's no longer a part of the plant. This rose reminds me of this writing by Rilke in the collection The Roses, who said, "One single rose is all roses, and this particular one unique, perfect, a supple word with which to speak the text of all things." Unquote. There are some perfect things in this life. Most are found in nature, like the rose. Each flower the plant puts out is as close to perfection as you can expect. Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Over the rainbow, and what a wonderful world. And, of course, the rose. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Our technology is imperfect. The stuff we try to make. My son was disappointed earlier today about a recurring problem with his laptop. If nature designed a computer, I'm almost convinced that it wouldn't crash as often as the one we try to make. And speaking of my son, I just discovered the other day that he is doing his own live radio show on the internet most nights. He's got quite a sense of humor. It is unique, certainly not a version of this program, and he's attracting quite the audience. I think he's got a future. He's definitely got a voice for radio, and I am helping him to perfect his craft. And one final thought this hour. Andy Rooney wrote, "I've learned that no one is perfect until you fall in love with them." Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Good night, sweet dreams. I'm Don Jackson.